All right. I welcome you all again to the Wiley's webinar series. And I am very excited. I'm very proud to inform you that we have launched a mock test series specific to UPSC on 19th of March. And we have conducted two free tests, full length free tests. And both the tests are available in the these are in the public domain. And you can click on the link which is provided in the chat box to register, and you can take those free tests as well. And we are also going to have another test which will be available for you if you register on the platform. It will be available for you on 7th of May, and you can take the test and you can check your understanding and your learning for the preparation for the the exam that is going to happen on 28th of May. All right. Apart from these tests, Wiley has also started daily current affairs, which is also specific to UPSC. And you can click on the link which is given in the chat box, and you can access to a Telegram channel. You can join the Telegram channel and you can access all the daily current affairs related to UPSC, and you can learn from those current affairs as well. This is the third webinar in the series, and the remaining two webinars also you can access on the on our website. You can scroll to the website, you can explore the website, and you can find so many related information. Yeah, and you can also gain from the webinar which were conducted before, and the tips and tricks provided by the speakers. All right, so topic of today's webinar is last mile preparation, and how to prepare in those in last 20 days for UPSC civil services examination GS paper 1. And to present his views, we have Mr. Neeraj Rao sir. And Neeraj Rao sir has been teaching for last 15 years to UPSC aspirants, and he has been part of Rajkumar IAS Bangalore, and he worked with the Narayana Academy as well. And he has been a founding member and faculty with Vision IAS as well. And I'm very proud to inform you that he is also writing a book with us, and he's a Wiley author now. Neeraj Rao sir because of his notes. His notes are very famous among UPSC aspirants. And now you can see, you can find his notes, you can understand, you can learn from his thoughts and ideas through his book as well. And he's writing the book as well with us, and we are going to launch that book very soon. And with warm welcome and warm regard, now I would like to invite Neeraj sir to present his views and take this webinar forward. Neeraj sir.
Hi, very good evening to all of you, and very thank you to Wiley team for giving me this platform to speak with the students. And moreover, so hi to all of you. You know that you are my source of strength. Seeing you guys, your faces, and then you live, that's what gives me energy. But right now it's not there. But anyways, this discussion is very important today. And first of all, I know that from today, you have 29 days then, and barring 28th of May, so you have exactly 28 days. So I had these kind of questions in the classes also, and had this question from from many platforms also, that what you should be doing in these last 28 days. So though we have mentioned last 20 days that how your preparation should go, but here I have taken the entire scheme from tomorrow to 27th of May, that what you should be doing. And I have divided this entire topic into many subtopics. One by one, I will deal with it. So basically, I'm coming to the objective of the today's session, where I will not waste your time, because it is very important right now that you must be investing your time in your studies and revising and all those things. So I'll be keeping it very crisp. then very brief and crisp, so that you can, whatever you want to gain from it, from my own experiences, from my own circle, my plethora of students, and then also the colleagues of mine who have cleared this exam, and also the students of mine who have cleared this exam. So basically, I'm not just speaking with my mind, but their mind also. So I would suggest you guys that who all are here as a participant, if you can, so please take a pen and paper also, so that if you find something relevant to you, you can jot it down. So I'll come to the point that what you need to be doing. So first of all, when it comes to prelims examination, okay, obviously we are talking about the prelims examination. So in prelims examination, that what all subjects you are tested on, then so let me go with the subjects one by one, and I'm taking a broader subject, not going into the smaller topics within it, then so that we can develop understanding. It is very important to develop this understanding. So you have history, then in history part, we do include art and culture, ancient, medieval, and modern Indian history. So these three things are the part of the history. Then you have environment and ecology, then geography, then polity, science and technology, economics, and then you have current affairs. Then so total 7 sections, as you note down. So total 7 sections are there in the prelims examination. Now, why I am talking about these 7 sections? See, before, when you go to a war, you must be very much aware with your tools. You must be very much aware with your opponents, then that what are your opponents and where you will be tested on. So these subjects you must be very well aware of about that, what has been the trend. So most important is the trend, is that what has been the trend in these all subtopics, how many number of questions has been asked. It is going to help you, believe me. Okay, so just if you can note down. So I'm giving you 2 things. Okay, one is the maximum minimum number of the questions in these from these sections, and then also average number of the questions in last 10 years from these sections. So let's start with the history itself. Then I'm a teacher of history, so obviously there is a love for it. Then so history. So in last 10 years, I'm starting from 2012 to 2022. So in between 2012 to 22, they have asked then 15 minimum number of the questions from the history and 22 maximum number of the questions from the history, which includes ancient, medieval, modern, and art and culture. The average comes out to be 18. So in last 10 years, the average comes out to be 18. Then comes, let's go to the another section, which is environment and ecology. So in environment and ecology, the minimum number of the questions were 11 and maximum number of questions were 18. So average of the environment and ecology comes out to be 14. Now you can prioritize, why I'm giving you the average, you can prioritize that which subjects you will be more emphasizing in this period. And then I'll share strategies with you that how a particular subject can be revised. Then come to the geography. To my surprise, and your surprise also, that geography is a big section in the mains examination. When you see the mains GS1 paper, you might get 110 marks or 115 marks questions from the geography in mains examination in paper 1. But that's not the case in prelims examination. Minimum number of questions were 10 and maximum were 18. That too for the 1 year. So the average of the geography comes around 12.5. In prelims examination, it is less important, as we see the trend of last 10 years, less important than geography, than environment and ecology. Then let's come to the polity. It has also been a roller coaster ride in the polity. That polity, they have asked minimum number of the questions 7 and maximum is 22, but the average is not that bad. Average is 15. So polity, you can expect 15 questions. Then science and technology. Once again, this is a make it or break it kind of scenario, because in science and technology, that many times when current affairs is also incorporated, and there are some concepts which you cannot just solve just by going with the NCRTs. Then so here in science and technology, minimum number of the questions they have asked is 7 and maximum number of the questions that have given 16. So the average of the science and technology is 10. Then comes economics. Then so economy, Indian economy and economic that concepts in the economy. So minimum number of the questions in economics 10 and maximum 18. Average comes out to be 15. Then comes current affairs. It is very surprising. Current affairs. Then you will be surprised. I'll tell you exactly. In 2013, 0 questions were asked from the current affairs then. And there was one more year, only 1 question was asked from current affairs. But there is a year in which 27 questions were asked from the current affairs then. So in this way, it is a section which is highly unpredictable. And moreover, going by the trend, if you leave it that some years 0 has been asked, so you will not prepare it, it may mar your chances to clear the exam. So average, despite 2 years, 0 and 1, the average of this section is 15.5. Now, when you add up these all averages of the 10-year, it exactly comes to be 100 then. So it exactly comes to be 100. And that's how, if you see the greater scheme of the UPSC, so how they plan these questions. So now what comes out to be from this particular discussion, that highest number of the question are always asked from the history portion, which is ancient, medieval, modern, and then art and culture. I can give you breakup because I am faculty of the history, so obviously. So they ask 3 to 4 questions. 3 questions are average from the ancient, medieval. 6 questions are average from the this particular portion, art and culture, and 8 to 9 questions are the average from the modern Indian history. So this is the breakup. Now, once you got to know about these, that the breakup of these all, now you can prioritize that which subject you must be you must be going ahead with in the last few days, and where you can give a little bit of less time, where you can give more time. So accordingly, you can plan. Then moreover, I just need to emphasize on few more parts also, that environment and ecology, though I'm teacher of history, but I'll emphasize on some parts, that environment and ecology, particularly in the prelims examination, it has become important, and its questions will not go down because from 2013 onwards, IFS exam was included with the civil services prelims exam. So they will not reduce the numbers of the that environment and ecology. And moreover, when they are asking questions from it, so always new questions are also there. So for it, my suggestion to you in this, as per my understanding in last 10 years, that you must be looking at the last year papers also, last 10-year papers also, in which you must see the animals which are there in the IUCN red list, endangered list, that wetlands, and then also tiger reserves. So these are the favorite questions in the environment and ecology, apart from the concepts. I hope you are well versed with the concepts with your NCRTs and other books that you have read. So there is no, obviously there is no point of suggesting any material over here. So these are the 3 sections. Apart from it, in environment and ecology, they also ask some unique type of questions whereby they can ask you a tiger reserve and what kind of river is there. So it is a mixture of a question of geography and ecology. So please be aware about it when you are doing the mapping. And this is the time when you're doing the mapping. So in mapping, my suggestion to you that be focused about 2 things. One is your not only the environment ecology stuff, but also the cultural places and also the geographical things, the rivers and the mountains. So this is a new thing which UPSC has started in last 7 years, and they have asked n number of the questions. Then let's come to the discussion on the geography. So in geography, generally, they do ask questions on concepts. So if you have clear-cut understanding on the concepts, so good number of the questions would be there from the physical geography, India environment, and mapping questions are also there. So you will have to see, this is a very important exercise, that in last 10 years, what kind of questions they have asked. So if you're not aware about that they are not asking questions about the NH, so they have also asked questions about national highways. Then they have also asked about the questions related to the tropical cyclones, these all tsunamis and everything. That's normal, that you can do. But in mapping, you must be very particular. And then there is a one section which is go of UPSC. Then that is Mediterranean Sea and the countries which are lined up in the Mediterranean Sea. So it's a kind of that it's a very favorite question of the UPSC. Then so as there is one more mixture of the question where they do mix IR, international relations, with the geographical things. So for example, they may ask you the questions related to that which all countries are there in the BIMSTEC, which all countries are there in the BRICS, and then they can ask you questions related to that Indian Ocean Rim Association, what all countries are there. So there are some tricks and formulas related to it. For example, that Indian Ocean Rim Association, all the countries in Indian Ocean, they are the part of it except Pakistan. So this kind of text, so you don't need to remember all the other countries. You just need to remember that which country is lined up over there, but not the part of it. So you will have to find out then, and then go ahead with that. Then science and technology. So obviously science and technology, it's also, since the IFS exam is combined with it, so it becomes important. And moreover, in science and technology, they asked about the defense equipments also. There would be one question related to the defense equipment, so be aware about it. And then in market, you have options related to current affairs, so please go ahead with those current affairs. And science and technology, some static concepts are there, and then also the concepts of the dynamic and current concepts are also asked. Then economics. So in economics, I have seen so much of huge hue and cry related to economics, particularly when it comes to economic survey. So yeah, in the last part, when your preparation is going good, and then all of a sudden budget comes and economic survey comes, and then you are kind of just looking at the others, and then you all start reading the economic survey. I'm not kind of abhorring reading of the economic services, but economic survey, but the point is that you must not waste much of your time on an economic survey. See, in the UPSC market, you have some short notes also. Summary of the economic survey, and I would not suggest to you to go ahead with the entire book, because it will waste your time. You can invest that time on the other portions. Then polity. Polity is one section which I have seen that it has maximum scoreability. So maximum scoreability and predictability also. So in polity, suppose that if 15 questions are there, you can surely correct 13 questions. Only 2 questions guarantee cannot be given, but you can surely correct 13 questions if you are well versed with the important books in the market. I hope you all know that what all books which are going on right now. And then also you must have done your polity from some other source also. So stick to the static part. You will be doing good in the polity. And moreover, sometimes they do ask some analytical concepts also. So go ahead with that. Then comes your current affairs. So current affairs is basically that there are a number of the sources. Once again, you get confused in the market. My suggestion to you, since it is the last 28 days already you must have done, so please stick to just one source. Please don't go with the 2-3 sources. That is where you lose the track of this exam. You lose the track of the exam, and then any coaching institute, anybody who has written their current affair material, at the end of the day, they are writing about some topics. So topics are similar in all of them. So please stick to just one current affair of your choice. Whatever you are doing, just go ahead with it, but just stick with the one choice and read that current affairs then, and read that current affairs for the entire this duration. Then let's come to the other parts of this particular exam. So I have written on a paper that what all things we need to discuss in this particular thing. So last 21 days, first 21 days from today, that from tomorrow. So tomorrow is 30th of April, and then 30th of April to 20th of May. So what you would be doing, and the last 7 days, that is 21st of May to 27th, what you would be doing. So now, as you can see that in the very first discussion, what we have mentioned, 7 sections are there. Divide the 7 sections. We are talking about the first 21 days. Divide these 7 sections into 3 parts. Then, so 3 days for history, 3 days for environment ecology, 3 days for geography, polity, science and technology, economics and current affairs. So now there must be very speedy reading of what you have already read in these static sections. Please understand what I'm talking about, static sections. I'm not talking about the current affairs then. So what you'll be doing, that you will be reading very speedily, and in reading speedily, you might be having questions that ki sir tej kaise pad sakte hain, how we can go so fast with it. So basically that, first of all, that keep away distractions from yourself. And one of the biggest distraction, you may agree with me and you will now like it, your phone. So please keep it silent. Then don't look at your phone all the time then. And then we waste maximum of our time just thumbnailing our phone. We are not doing anything productive on it, but we just thumbnail it. Now, the second thing, that keep your phone away from you. Moreover, call your family members, important persons then in your life, that this is the time, if my phone is, I'm not able to pick, so please understand that I'm studying, and leave a message. Whenever I get time, I will get back to you. Make a point that you yourself are calling to your family members, and then let them know at the very first stage. So this you will be doing today itself, if you're really very serious about it. So phone is the biggest distraction. Then the second thing, that one more thing you can do, that you can play that some sort of, if you are comfortable with it, then so some sort of instrumental music, whatever is good for you or you are very much accustomed to. So instrumental music, the first time when you're listening to the instrumental music, so what happens, that there is a distraction, but the second time it smoothens everything, and believe me, it improves your speed. I will share one small story with you, that long back, meaning that 20 years back, I was with my Tauji, and we used to go to a park then. And then one fine day, what he did, that one of my cousin and me were there with him. So he just left us, and he said us that you go on this direction, you go on this direction, I will go in another direction. So the direction to which he sent me, I saw, and he said to me that read what is there on the way. So I saw that there was one quotation, and it was in Hindi. I hope all of you understand that jo akele chalte hain, teji se aage badhte hain. So this is the time of akele chalna. Then meaning that if you walk alone at this point of time, you will cruise speedily. Then so just do a thing. Then just go today, walk slow, and observe that there is anything in your mind. So there is a tick, always there is a tick in your mind, that tick in your mind, that some suggestions, some other thoughts are going on. But when you are moving very fast, so you know what happens? No thought comes to your mind. Then, so when you are moving very fast, so then your mind tick stops. Then I will share one more story with you. And this is important because in this exam, the motivation is the one of the most important thing. I'll tell you, you must have heard about the stories from the religion, mythology, then, and then so as the story of the Lord Vishnu and the one of his devotee, Narad. Then, so one fine day, that Narad believed, that Narad Muni, I hope you know, so he believed that he is the most ardent devotee of the Lord Vishnu. And he often used to say that to Lord Vishnu, that who can be a better devotee of yours than me? That I'm the one who all the time, all the 24 hours and all these seconds and microseconds, I'm the one who is taking your name, Narayan, Narayan. Then Lord Vishnu said to that particular guy, that Narad Muni, that you are not my greatest devotee. I'll tell you that there is a farmer in this particular village who is my greatest devotee. So then he sent Narad. Narad was kind of that he was not happy with it. So he said that, sir, all the time he is working in his agriculture field, and only in the morning he is remembering you. How come he is your greatest devotee? So then Lord said to the Narad Muni that please go to that agricultural field with a pot full, brim full with oil, and make 7 rounds of that particular agricultural field, and make sure that not a single drop of that oil is spilling out from that particular pot. So Narad Muni, he has went to that particular place. He has started taking that rounds of that particular agricultural field without spilling the oil from that particular pot. Now, when he has done the 7 rounds, happily he comes to the Lord Vishnu, and then he says that, see, I did it. So now I am your greatest devotee. So then Lord asked him that while you were making the rounds of the agricultural field, you did not remember my name. You did not counted my name for a single time. So then he said, sir, if I will count your name at that point of time, the oil will be spilled. Then, so how come while doing that stuff, I will be counting your names? I was doing the work. So then Lord pointed, this is what I was saying, that agricultural, that the peasant, that farmer, he's doing his work. How come he will remember my name all the time. I will not give him his food. Then he's doing for it. Then he's doing for his family. And despite all his difficulties, and despite all the challenges of his life on daily basis, he does not forget me to remember in the morning. So he's my greatest devotee. So now I hope you understand that distractions, it is all in your hand. Then if you want to be distracted, you will be distracted. Then if you don't want to be distracted, you will not be distracted. So it is all in your hand. It is all in your capacity. Moreover, it needs an iron will. This exam, see, forget about these books and everything. Take books and coaching institutions and everything. Anything, any success in your life comes with your determination and a positive mindset. So if you have that positive mindset, and if you have that particular determination that no matter what, I will clear this exam, you will clear this exam. So positivity brings positivity. If you have some sort of ounce of doubt, so then obviously it is not going to help. So have that much faith. And moreover, before moving ahead, I'm sharing these questions which I have got in the places where I am teaching right now. So the students often come to me and they ask me that, sir, puri tayari nahi ho pai hai. I am not done with the entire preparation. And then what should I do? That should I leave the exam? So that would be the worst option one can go ahead with. How come before 1 month, you are deciding that you are quitting the exam? So this particular trait of yours is a part of your personality. You will be repeating it time and again. Next year also, before 1 month, you will be like that, sir, my preparation is not done completely. I'm leaving the exam. So you will never give the exam. So don't make it trait of your personality. And if it is in your reflex action, please change it. So please change it, because it is not going to let you give the exam at any point in your life. So that trait would be there. And moreover, when you're removing this trait, so these last 20 days, you can give all of yours. So you can give all of yours, and at least you can give a try. The most important thing is the giving a full-hearted try. Nobody knows that who will clear, who will not, and then who will be damned and who will be not. But it's actually what you do in these last days that is important. So these last 28 days, 27 days, I think that it is most important. So what I said to you, that divide the topics. I'm doing this planning for you. Divide the topics, 7 topics I mentioned to you. Divide the topics into 21 into 7. And then 3 days for one subject, and you must be reading very fast. I hope that you have already done 2-3 readings, and then after you do the revision. So read it fast and keep away the distractions. Then the last 7 days. So last 7 days is also very important, because if you don't touch upon a single subject, you may feel that, and moreover, that in the last week, whatever you are revising, that comes very handy. So give one day to each of the portions. Moreover, if you are bored, suppose that if you have taken history for first 3 days, so if you're getting bored, so you can break your monotony by reading current affairs little bit every day. Okay? Because current affairs is the one thing which you have read a little less. So you can keep it every day for 1 hour or 1.5 hours. That exercise you can do, but do go ahead with this plan. And I'm not giving you a second plan, because when the options are given in last 28 days, so the options don't work then. So this is my option that I will be giving to you. I'll be keeping it for myself. Then let's come to the another very important aspect in this regard is your health. Then see that many times I have seen that people suffer not because of what they have studied, what not they have studied. They suffer because they have not taken care of their health. So please be very particular about your health. Now the time that most of you are away from your homes done. And even if you are at your home, so please avoid oily food. Please avoid those food which causes disruption in your body, or digestion disruption, or any kind of disruption, even the problem of the gastrointestinal problems. So you must be very careful about it. And moreover, health is important, because if you lose, suppose that if you fall ill and if you lose your 3 days, so it may kind of imbalance your plan. So please be careful about it. And moreover, COVID has not gone from the country. So whenever you are moving out, please wear the mask. Then be very careful in this last 28 days. If you haven't done, if you haven't gone, if you haven't been infected with the COVID, lastly, please be careful. Don't consider yourself as a Superman. Then last 28 days, you must go ahead with these precautions. Then now another thing which I often encounter in classes and with the students, nervousness, anxiety. So these are the problems. So nervousness and anxiety. Now, what you'll be doing with these all. So I would say that little bit of nervousness is all fine. It's not an issue. Little bit of nervousness is all fine, because obviously when you are going to appear in a very big exam, and then moreover, it's all about building your career. So then little bit of questions must be there in the mind. And then if you're not introspecting, so then what you are doing? So overconfidence, I think that is more injurious than nervousness. Then, so if you're nervous, that is fine, okay? But it must not be so much of nervousness. Then sometimes comes anxiety, that you feel that, oh God, I have not touched this subject, that subject, 4 subjects are remaining, that subject is remaining. So if you keep lingering on this particular thought, so you know what will happen to you? That if you keep on thinking that I have not done this, I have not done that. So in this way, you will be wasting your time. You will not be doing any productive work. So what you need to do, that please, when these type of the thoughts comes, that you have not done this section, that section, decide that you are going to go ahead with one subject. While when you are going ahead with one subject, so suppose that if you have not done 3 subjects, then and you need to do 3, but if you keep on thinking, so you lose on all the 3 subjects. But when you go ahead with the one subject, at least one part would be prepared. And as you can see with the trend, why I mentioned the trend in the beginning itself, that nobody knows that which section will attract maximum number of the questions. So at least you are increasing your probability. Be little mathematical in this exam, that increase your probability. Now, another thing which I encounter, which I not encounter, that I see from the students, that they have this problem. They say that, sir, whatever we memorize, whatever we revise, whatever we study, we tend to forget. It is perfectly human to forget. Then we are not gods. I am not God, you are not God, none of us are God, then none of us are perfect. So we will forget it. Then, and if you're believing that just by 2 reading, you will memorize everything, so then you must be God. Then even gods tend to forget, then they don't know. So if you go into the mythology, even gods have fight when they have forgotten the things. So it is perfectly humane to forget. And it is perfectly that it is actually insane to think that just by 2 reading you will remember everything. Don't overexert on yourself. Then we are not supercomputers. So it needs revision. Once you have done n number of the revisions, so then only you tend to remember. Now let's take a case that I suppose that you have done the 3 readings of the things and 2 revisions you'll be doing at this point of time. So by the time you are done 3 readings and the 2 revisions, your subconscious mind comes to the play. Please understand, it is a very powerful device. It is a very powerful tool with us, which God has given. So what we cannot store in a kind of a impromptu manner, it is stored in a manner of the cats and cookies. Then what you see in your in your internet and then your the computers, that cats and cookies are there, so they would be there. So it is always there like this. Now, so what subconscious mind does, that if you have studied anything for 4 or 5 times, so once you look at the options, once in the objective examination, once you're studying the question and once you're looking at the options, so what happens, that it is your subconscious mind which gives you suggestion, which kind of that gives you an indication that I think that this is correct. And 90% of the time, I'm not telling my research, it is a scientific research, has been published from last 100 years, that 90% of the time your subconscious mind is right. Then, so please go ahead with have faith in your subconscious mind. Suppose if I ask a question to you at this point of time and you're not able to remember it if you have studied, so don't question yourself. Then when I give you options, you will give me 90% of you will be giving the answer. Your responses would be there. So subconscious mind is a powerful device. Then I will share one more experience of mine with you. And so as many of my friends who have cleared this exam, and so as that my own relatives and my brothers who have cleared this exam. So what is this then? When we look at the UPSC paper at the very first instance, when I am looking at the UPSC paper at the very first instance, so you know what happens. And it happened with me also, that when I'm flipping through the pages, I realize that hardly I know 40 questions, 40 answers. This is what happens to us. And I believe that I studied a lot. So hardly I know 40 questions. Then this is the common feeling with all the people, no matter they are getting 105 or 145. So this is the common feeling. But then what happens once you start solving the questions, and I hope you must have studied about the methods of the elimination, okay? Then this subconscious mind, which I'm talking to you, some places, hell lot of mugging up also doesn't help. Then it's all your analytical capacity and analytical ability that helps. So once you are moving ahead with these all plans in your mind, so then what happens? How 40 questions convert to 70, you never know. And it happens like this way. So have faith in your subconscious mind. And this is how the things will be there at the very first instance. So believe in that. Moreover, now, one more thing I have included at this point of time, I say that, this has not been actually mentioned in the UPSC notification. They don't mention it. And in fact, they never kind of officially allow it. So I'll share some experience of mine with you, that what you'll be doing with the OMR seats then. And first I'm talking about the mistakes that you do in the OMR seat then. So if you're doing the mistakes in the OMR seat, see, this experiment I myself have done, and I have done with 4 or 5 friends of mine. So what we did, that these OMR seats, the optical machines which are there, which evaluate this thing, the similar machines are there everywhere in UPSC also and all the places. So what we did, that we deliberately marked the wrong answers. Then we deliberately marked the wrong answers in OMR seat. Then we use the whitener on those questions then. And then after what we have done, we have marked the right answers. Then this exercise we did. And moreover, we checked our OMRs with the optical machines, and we found that whatever right options that we have marked, so that was counted. And the white thing that we have done with the whitener, that was not counted. So in a case, if it happens to you, so please do carry with you whiteners. They will not officially mention to you that this you can carry, but you can carry. And if it is all bad, if they are not allowing at the end of the day, so then you can throw it, but go ahead with it. So even in fact, when I was giving the exam, so I was also always going with it then, and then so as many of students of mine. So in case that if you have faulted, please be ready for the correction. Then another thing, that many times we do ask that how we should fill the OMR sheets. That should we solve all the question in one go, and in the end we must fill the OMR. So everybody has different kind of strategy. So here I am just telling you that the problem of filling the OMR seat in the last happens what, that if you happen to miss, because in the last there is a pressure, last 10-15 minutes there is a pressure then, and in this pressure if you happen to miss just one circle, so the entire answer of yours, 50-60 questions can go wrong. So it would be better that page by page, suppose that on one page 7 questions are there, solve those 7 questions, mark those 7 questions. Okay, so this is the best way to go ahead with it. And one question, one OMR, that is also one thing that people go ahead with, but best is that go page by page. So this way you will not be panicky in the last part of the exam. So now, since already much things I have mentioned, but I do want that I would like to address some of the questions of yours. So I would ask Vinodji to go ahead with it then.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much, sir. You have just explained, the detailed plan for the students. So in last 30 days or 28 days, how they can prepare and how they can revise as well. So it's a detailed plan. It's a very good strategy also you have shared, and you have also mentioned and shared some of the things that students often miss. And these your tricks and tips will be very, very helpful for the student. And I'm sure student will be benefited with your thoughts and your ideas that you have shared. And this is for the aspirants. I would like to tell you that we are going to share that one feedback form with you in the chat box. The link is available. You can fill that feedback form maybe later. You can click on it. You can fill the feedback form. It is regarding the webinar, how the webinar is going. Do you like the webinar? Or maybe the topic for the next webinar you can suggest. And also your feedback, whatever feedback you have, you can share with us. And yes, before going for the Q&A session, we will have poll. So in the poll for the students, you will have a few poll questions, and you can this is the poll section. So you can see there are few questions. I can read those questions for you. The poll will be on for 1 minute or so. So you can read the question and you can attempt it.
Yeah, please go ahead with the questions. Yeah.
So the first question is, how many questions should one attempt to find the qualifying number since the exam has a negative marking? So you can also suggest.
Yeah. So here, this how many questions one should attempt, I will suggest later on. Let the poll happen, and then I will talk on this end. Okay. So how many questions? So here also there is a mathematics.
Okay. Second one is, how many mock tests should one take 20 days before the examination? Third one is, how many subjects should I focus on to qualify prelim examination during the last phase of my preparation?
Three questions. So now people are attempting it.
So last 30 seconds. So now the poll is going to end in 4, 3, 2, 1. All right.
So all the questions.
Right. So we have a lot of questions in the chat box, and I will try to take as many questions as possible.
Sure.
Right. And before that, I would like the aspirants to please register for the mock test that we are going to have on 7th of May. So this mock test will really help you to prepare and check your understanding and your preparedness for the examination, which is going to happen on 28th of May. So the link is there in the chat box. Please register yourself and take the test. And remaining, there are 2 more tests which are also there. You can take those tests as well. These tests are free of cost, and there is no charge. So you can register and you can take the test. All right. So, sir, now I will take a few questions.
Sure. Even I would like to answer these questions also. So as far as how many questions are concerned. So let me address this question. So see that when it comes to how many questions you will be attempting, it depends on, you must be aware about the fact that what has been the cutoff in last 4 or 5 years. So the last year cutoff was very low. It was 87 point something. Then the cutoff was 92, and uske pehle it was 96, and then 98. So when the cutoff is going very low, so you must be very much aware about it. And I would go ahead with the rule. There is no fixed rule. It all depends upon your accuracy. So how come you'll get to know about your accuracy? That what is your accuracy? It is the test series with which you get to know about your accuracy. That what are your personal traits, and then how many questions you attempt, and then how much correct. So please do the mathematics with it. And if your accuracy, if you are, suppose you are attempting 90 questions, and if your accuracy is that near about that 33% wrong, so you would be in a soup, done. But if your accuracy is good, that less than 25% are the wrong, so then you can go ahead with more number of the questions. So please practice as much test as possible. But obviously the last 20 and 28 days, you cannot overtly emphasize on the test series. So I would suggest that full length test, 4 to 5 full length tests in last 1 month, and also the CSAT, not just this one, but also the CSAT, you can go ahead with it. And as Vinodji said, so I would like to emphasize on the Wiley's test series that see that it is unlike the coaching institute test series. In fact, I am in the coaching industry, but I know that most of the questions get circulated time and again. So there is a dedicated team over here, and completely that they are utter professionals. So whatever you get, that's a new kind of question according to the scheme of the UPSC. So you can go ahead with the test, which is going to be conducted on 7th of May. And there is one more test which is lined up before the 28th of May. So please go ahead with it and test and look at that. What is your accuracy? Please, Vinodji, go ahead with the questions.
Right. So thank you very much, sir. So now I'm taking a few questions from the chat box.
Yeah, sure.
So the first question is, are 10-year question paper for UPSC preparation relevant, or 5-year is sufficient due to changing pattern of examination?
See, to this question, the 10-year question paper, it is relevant. 5-year is nothing. You cannot get more from the 5-year. So 10-year paper is relevant because, see, the new scheme of the exam, it all started in 2011. Then the CSET pattern of the exam. And in the changes in the mains examination were there from the 2013. So the 100 questions on the GS, in GS, and then 80 questions in the CSAT paper, it all started from 11. So you get a fair idea that what has been trend. Then, and as I mentioned to you in the beginning itself, that I have taken 10-year average, and it is actually the 10-year average which comes out to be 100. So in the scheme of the UPSC, last 10 years are most important. And moreover, there's one more good thing, that in some of the static sections, you get some questions repeated. So I can tell you some of the questions. For example, that there was a question on the Buddha's places associated with the life of the Buddha. It was asked in 2014, and exact question was asked in 2015 also. Then Odia classical language question was asked in 1 year, and the next year, once again, it was repeated. There was a question on Tabo monastery, which was asked in 2007, and it got in the 2014. So the questions get repeated from last 10 years, particularly from the static section. So it will be highly helpful to you. I would suggest that you must go ahead with the last 10-year paper.
Right.
Then,
so next question, it is already you have explained, but still I would like to speak that question and then you can answer. So the question is, what is the key strategy for the revision in last 20 days?
So that's what I mentioned to you, the key strategy, that you divide the days into three, the group of 3, 7, and obviously 20 hai. So there would be 2 days for one subject and 3 days for the other subjects. So according to the number of the questions has been asked, dedicate 3 days to each of the subject. And moreover, once you're looking at the last 10-year papers, you also get to know that which are the areas which are highly emphasized, and time and again questions are asked. So let me take the example of the polity itself. In polity, the most repeated question is basically from the fundamental rights and fundamental duties, and so as the DPSP principles. Gandhian principles in the DPSP is also one go-to-go question in the UPSC exam. So once you're looking at the 10-year paper, you get to know that which section has been asked a lot. So then you can further emphasize more on these aspects of the particular subject in the 3 days. Accordingly, in history also, from where you get you are going to get most of the question. So for example, that in modern Indian history, we do get every year question from the acts and the commissions. Then so when you are well versed with the acts and commission, at least 1 or 2 questions of yours are going to be right. So there are sub-emphasization in the topics also. Not only the 3 days you are reading, but you are also emphasizing more on the topics which has been asked recurrently. So look at the 10-year paper and accordingly do this exercise in last 3 days and 3 into 7. That's how you can go ahead.
Thank you,
then
sir.
Next question. Yeah, sir.
So this is just a bit of information that the last 10-year papers are available on Wiley website, and the link is available in the chat box. You can click on the link and you can download all the questions with the answer key as well. Next question is, how do I study maps for UPSC examination?
So maps, basically, as I mentioned to you guys, that related to the maps, that you obviously you must be having the atlas then, and please buy a very good quality atlas then, where the things are in details. And once again, in the atlas that what questions they have asked in last 10 years, it will give you a little bit of detail. So for example, I told you that example of the Mediterranean Sea. Actually, this question was in my mind, that it's one of the favorite question in the geography. So they will ask me to you that which of the following does not share boundary with the Mediterranean Sea, and then you will have to remember. So you need to be, you will be looking at those questions of the UPSC and then be specific in your map. So for example, gone are the days when UPSC was asking the questions related to the passes, okay? Passes. So now they are not asking. In last 10 years, they have not asked any question on the passes, but in fact, they have asked n number of the question on the gorges, n number of the questions on the particularly this particular rivers, then rivers which are running through, and then moreover, some of the historical places, and they are on the banks of which river, which mountain. So for example, very recently, there was a question which was asked. There is a place called Pandharpur in Maharashtra, and Pandharpur is known for the Wari Varkari tradition. So people do study Pandharpur in Bhakti and Sufi movement. But when it came to the UPSC question, what they asked, that Pandharpur is located on the banks of which river? So it becomes interesting that you need to know those rivers. So be very specific about it. Then moreover, what I said to you, that NH also, that national highways of the importance, so coastal NH, desert area NH, the NH which is covering the largest expanse. So this way, and highest NH then, so this also, then 13 major ports, then some minor ports, deeper ports. So these kind of questions, which is basically, most of the time it is called as the general awareness. So this you must be marking in your maps. And moreover, though maps are colorful, but you can use your own highlighters, your own colors, and write something in your map with your own hand, because it is of importance. So when you write, when you see, when you kind of listen to it, so three-way emphasization happens then, and three-way your memory collects the things. So go ahead with this kind of plan. Yes.
Right, sir.
Yes, Neeraj.
So the next question is, any specific field or topic one should focus in last few days?
So that's what I said to you, that in fact, the entire scheme that we mentioned, that I mentioned you some topics from the environment and ecology you must focus on. In history portion, you must focus on the acts and commissions. Then in polity section, as I said to you, that you must be revising n number of the time, fundamental rights, duties, and DPSP. And then also the go-to question of the UPSC, very often they do ask that a particular position, suppose that Advocate General of India, so how he has been appointed then, and who appoints him? Then what are how many members are there in the estimate committee? So these committees and commissions in polity also, you must go ahead with it. Then in economics, okay, so economics, most of the time it is the concept which are asked. But current affairs, please don't cut current affairs. As you have seen that 27 questions, and not just one time, 2 times 27 questions have been asked. So it will be a kind of a make it or break it scenario. So I would say that don't cut your current affairs on daily basis, go ahead with the current affairs then. And in current affairs, my suggestion would be that focus on 2 areas, science and technology and economic, and this ecology and environment. So the schemes of the government are also important. One question would be there with related with the schemes. So you must be well aware about the schemes also. So these sections you can go ahead with.
Right, sir. So the next question is related to relaxation and motivation. So how one should keep himself stress-free and motivated at the same time?
See, at the end of the day, it all depends on that how determined you are here to clear the exam. And that's why I shared this story with you guys, that how you will be motivated. So once your focus is very crystal clear, then if you don't have any bodily problems like health, so if you're taking care of health, so healthy mind will live in your body. And moreover, you must have that determination. And if at all, if you're not able to cope up few things, so the most important strategy is with sharing. And I know that you all must be having somebody to share. So please share those things. Once you share anything with some of the trusted people of yours, half of your burden is off. And then for a moment, so this 28 days would be heavy on you. So for a moment, keep a prize for yourself. That's some of your favorite things. Suppose you want to eat something, or suppose you want to listen to one particular song or something, or you want to just see one movie. So keep a kind of a reward for yourself, that this much portion, if I cover in this much days, so then this would be a reward for me. So when your determination is high, and moreover, when your health is okay, And if you are able to share your parts with the people, I think that will help in this particular direction. And be highly motivated. It is just like that. Consider this occasion of the exam as it is your marriage occasion with your lover. That's kind of motivation you need. So that's how you feel important about this exam. If you are feeling that it is any lesser than that particular occasion, so then there might be some issues. So have this kind of enthusiasm related to exam. We can go ahead with the other question.
All right, sir. So if you can suggest some mind relaxing activities that.
Yeah, so mind relaxing activities, obviously. I would like you guys to go ahead. There is the entire world recognizes this thing, that the yogic and meditational practices. But I'm not going to tell you like Baba Ramdev that you do Kapalbhati, Brahmari, and these all things. I will tell you the simple techniques. Then see that when we talk about, you must have heard about the word mantra. What is mantra? So mantra is, the meaning of this word mantra is manaha trayate iti mantraha, which means that what controls the mind is mantra. So mantra is all about concentration. And how you do the concentration. So you don't need to go ahead with so many other methods. Just do one thing, that inhale deeper. Okay? Whenever your mind is little bit fickle, if it is not feeling well, and then you are feeling tired and you are feeling boresome, and then you're feeling that you are not going to get the concentration. So just concentrate on one thing, that take deep breath and exhale it in slower fashion. And at that time, please emphasize on, please stress on or observe your inhalation and your exhalation. So your entire focus must be on inhalation and exhalation. In fact, whenever you are worshipping and you are praying to the God, very often happens that while praying to the God, we are not able to actually think about the God, but we are thinking about our daily life things. So you know why it happens? It happens because our tick is always going on. So when one method which is said that if you exhale slowly and inhale deeply, that will help. Another thing, that if you want concentration, so there is one more method of concentration, that close your eyes and keep your focus in the middle of the eyebrows. Then, so when you're keeping focus, you're in the middle of the eyebrows, no other thought, mark it. Then just do this exercise after the end of this session. Your concentration would be there. So these exercises you can do time and again whenever you're feeling. And this may seem generic to you, that deep inhalation and slow exhalation, and also the focus on the kind of the breathing. So this is generic, but this is the most effective thing to go ahead with.
Right, sir. Thank you very much. And this is actually very important for not only for the students who are preparing, but in general as well. So thank you very much. And so the next question is, how to revise art and culture in the last month, having studied very less? Please suggest any source for quick revision and important topics if possible.
See, see that this is one thing, obviously. So art and culture is one such subject when you have not studied, so you are dreaded with it. But otherwise, I would suggest to you that if you have not studied too much, so take a credible source from the market then. And I don't want to do the self-promotion, but yeah, you can go ahead with, if you find in the market, my class notes are there. So you can go ahead with that. And then it will be easy to you to memorize those things. And even in that particular part, I would suggest to you that go ahead with the 3 topics. That is the topic number 1, architecture and sculpture. And the second I would suggest to you is the language and literature, and Buddhism and Jainism. So these topics you can go ahead with. And painting also for this year. So 4 topics I'm suggesting to you. Rest of the topic, if you're not getting time, so you can leave it then. But these 4 topics you must go ahead with it. And I have a hunch feeling that this year there might be a question from the painting, because the new NCERT which came last year. So obviously they will be asking some questions from that. So go ahead with that.
That will be really helpful, sir.
Thank you.
The next question in the line is, what are some common mistakes that UPSC CSE aspirants make?
So one common mistake I would say to you, the human mistake, okay? The human error that we do. This is the most important factor, and majority of the people, they are not on the other side of the fence because they are doing the human error. And how human error happens? So understand, human error happens because of the one thing, that what happens that once you read the question, if you find something very familiar to you, so then you don't go ahead with the other options. Then, so don't go ahead with the other options. And then what happens? This is what causes the tragedy and the casualty. I'll tell you a very good example. In 2014, there was a question which was asked that what was the purpose of the Ibadat Khana? Then if you break this particular word, Ibadat and Khana. So Ibadat means prayer and Khana is hall. So the very first option, the option number A, was written that it is a prayer hall. When people are looking at the prayer hall, they were so much convinced that ye to bahut easy hai, this is prayer hall. They marked 90% of the people went ahead with the prayer hall, but this was not. It was the place for the religious discussion and deliberation. So answer could be other than what you are familiar with. Then, so when you are not reading the other option, this is also a human error. Another human error that we often do, UPSC is a very wise body, and what they do, that first they will ask the question, they will give you the options, and below the options, they will ask you not correct. You are under impression that UPSC is asking correct, and below they have given not correct. So there you don't use to see what is written, correct or not correct. So you need to be very careful in this regard. And many a times what happens that even if you don't know the answer of the question, when you're reading the question, so it happens that you feel that mujhe nahi pata hai, I don't know this answer. But don't lose hope. Go ahead with the options also. Many a time in this type of situations also, where the first feeling that I don't know the answer, but when you read the options, you get the answer. So don't do these kind of mistakes. And human error costs dearly to the people. I have seen them just waiting for next 18-month cycle.
So I will take a few questions only because we are already has
a good number of questions lined up. Yeah.
So a few questions as well. So next question is, how important are Yojana and Kurukshetra for preparation?
See, Yojana and Kurukshetra, you can go ahead with these two topics in the mains examination. In prelims, I don't think that they have much role to play because these are the 5-6 selected topics would be there, 10-11 selected topics are there, which has been that which govern, and they are from the government source. So basically, they are the thought process of the government. And moreover, when you are going to the administrations, you need to be aware with the thought process of the government. Moreover, the language which is written in these Yojana and Kurukshetra, they are the people who are in the bureaucratic circles, and they are the people who are well aware with the government thought process. So their language, if you replicate in the mains examination, that will be very helpful. But for prelims examination, for the time being, you can skip it then. But for mains, it is kind of that I would suggest that it doesn't take much of time. So last 6-7 Yojana and Kurukshetra, you can add in your preparation. Then any other questions?
Right.
So Vinodji, yeah,
yes, sir. So I think we are well ahead of the desired timeline, and we have a lot of questions, and some of the questions are not related to PT, I mean prelim examination,
okay,
and related to other topics as well. So thank you very much, all the participants, for participating. And it has been a very interactive session. You have asked a lot of questions, and we tried as many questions as we can ask and discuss during the small timeline. So thank you very much for joining in, and please fill the feedback form. We will get back to you and suggest whatever you want to suggest. I mean, how was the webinar, and what should be the next topic for the webinar, and do register for the mock test, which is going to happen on 7th of May, and you will be benefited out of it. And thank you very much, sir, for joining in and sharing your thoughts. And I'm really happy and really excited to see your books as well, which is coming very soon with Wiley India, Wiley publication. And thank you very much for your contribution and your thoughts. Thank you. With this note, I would like to give it to you, back to you, the podium. And yes, thank you very much from our side, from Wiley. Thank you, sir.
So thank you very much, everyone. Thank you all the students who have joined. And moreover, I am looking forward with your association, might be in next few months after you're done with the exam also. So we can meet for the kind of offline seminar also, and keep in touch with us, and do follow Wiley on the social media platforms. And I just want to assure you that the test series which is to be conducted by the Wiley publication, it is going to be utterly professional. So it is not like the things which are existing in the market. Obviously, when a new product has to be offered, then, and when a new scheme has to be offered, it must be very closer to the exam pattern, and it must be prepared by the professionals, not by the people who have a little bit of expertise in it. So you will have a very fruitful experience with the test series, and you can go ahead with it. In fact, these 2 test series, these are which is to be conducted on 7th and then the next Sunday. So please go ahead with it, enroll for it. And moreover, I'm very elated to have this conversation with you, at least that this last 20 days, that how we will be proceeding ahead. And those questions which were not of the prelims nature, or basically not for this last 20 days. So I'm sorry for it, that since we had the paucity of the time, and then we had already exceeded the time. But definitely with this platform of the Wiley, and also in future when we are organizing any such stuff, so we'll let you know, and then we'll be connected through that. So thank you for the time being. All the best to all of you. Best of luck, guys. Do well and keep yourself well, and be hydrated also all this time. Thank you. Okay, bye. Take care.